Well, shaking people, back with another reaction, back with some more Bee Gees. And we're going back to the 1968 album Horizontal. Shout out to Lisa, and to Amy, and to Kim, and to Adam, and all the folks who've been along for the Bee Gees ride. I really do enjoy this deep dive, and a lot of friendly, positive folks keen to talk about the Bee Gees. So, the next tune on Horizontal is Birdie Told Me. Birdie, a little bird. I remember growing up, there were times where people would say jokingly, oh, well, a little bird told me that such and such is true. So I feel like, given that it's likely to be the same type of expression, it's the notion that, you've been pushed to make some comment or to act in a certain way or to respond to what is, part of some situation or some story, but you're not revealing the source. You're not telling whoever you're speaking to the person who informed you of this critical information. So yeah, I wonder, if it's more playful. I wonder, what the message from the birdie was and how it relates to maybe the person being spoken to. Obviously, it could be like a lyrical soliloquy, meaning it might not be addressed to someone specific. Could be more about, describing your own condition. But either way, I'm familiar with a similar expression that I remember people saying when I was growing up, often in comedic situations where like the identity of the person like who told them the information is like pretty clear and obvious, but you're being like coy about not saying who it is. Like, well, little bird, as someone sits off in the corner and sort of smiles. So yeah, like I said, I wonder if it's more playful or what the message is in the first place. Let's find out. This is Bee Gees. The tune is Birdie Told Me, and it's from the 1968 album Horizontal.
Birdie told me I must get over you somehow.
Yeah, easier said than done.
She told me never to think of you right now, but it's hopeless to say. How can I forget the way she used to love me? I think about her in my time, knowing my mind is over. Looks like falling, heaven is calling my name to me. Funny faces, lavender traces, it's hopeless to say. How can I forget the way she used to love me? I think about her in my time, knowing my mind is over. Birdie told me I must get over you somehow. She told me never to think of you right now, but it's hopeless to say. How can I forget the way she used to love me? I think about her in my time, knowing my mind is over. Birdie taught me how to get over you.
I was gonna say, still ending it. A shorter one, despite the little extra epilogue on the end there. But yeah, it sounds like a sad song. It sounds like someone who, is trying to talk themselves or convince themselves that they're over another person. They're essentially a voice in their own head that like, you gotta move on. You gotta just accept that it's not the case anymore. But it's like, how can I forget though? Like, that feeling of being in love and of being loved, it's one of the great joys in life. So the idea that I could just, I'll just forget that, I'll just move on. It's, which sometimes you do hear, like at the end of relationships. I had times where like a breakup was a tough thing and it was, I was sad for a while, and I'd have some friends who are like, oh, you know, I get it, but, you know, just get over it. Like, you know, there's other women out there. It's like, yeah, I get that, but it's, you know, it's not so simple. It just really isn't that simple. So ultimately, if I'm hearing most of the lines that I caught correctly, it sounds like someone who's just trying to come to terms with it, and maybe again using a character, if you will, to, you know, convince themselves of what they have to do, but also at the same time like pushing back against that and saying, well, that, like, no, this type of experience isn't something you just forget and move on from and just pretend that didn't happen. So yeah, maybe there's some layers I'm missing. I would not be surprised if there were, but that's what it felt like on a first listen. And yeah, sonically, again, it has that late 60s feel. You know, it's, I don't listen to too much music from that era, but some of the songs and some of the groups that, you know, I know from the 60s, which I guess most of what I listen to from the 60s is like old Motown stuff, which, you know, that's a bit different from this, but yeah, there's just like a certain sound of the production, like you can just really like hear it, and a lot of tunes from that era. So I'm not sure, you know, what that is. Recording techniques, I imagine, is part of it. But ultimately, yeah, it had that feel. It had some nice instrumentation. You know, again, like I like the change in rhythm between the like half or like syncopated rhythm, and then when it goes into that like slightly more steady section. I like when it would transition to into what I guess was the chorus, the like sonic feel of that first moment when it would go into the chorus. I really thought that was ear catching. So another top tune. Looking forward to more from the late 60s Bee Gees, and again, we have Odessa waiting in the wings after that. So do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.